Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany and I am so happy that you're here. So today I thought I would discuss a few different topics. First, I thought I would talk about biblical femininity. I thought I would share a thrift haul for things I've thrifted for my summer wardrobe. I live in South Texas. Then I thought I would share just some quick tips when it comes to getting dressed with littles. I think as believers, we must try to search the scriptures and ask, do we have a responsibility as women to display femininity in our unbelieving culture? We have a culture that does try to set out a picture and an example of what femininity looks like. Also, that same culture tries to tell us that femininity can be something that is a choice, that you just get to choose. You can be a male and you can be feminine. These are beautiful gifts that God gave to his women. And so we have maybe got a little lackadaisical. We have maybe misconstrued what the meaning of femininity looks like. And so today I just thought I would encourage you to first and foremost delight in the fact that God created us as women. That is a beautiful gift. This is something that we get to display and honor God in, and we get to set this example to our daughters. And so we have a culture right now that really dislikes womanhood. Many women might not want to be men, but they also don't want to be women. And so God was very distinct within the first chapters of the Bible when he laid the groundwork for male and female, and it is a beautiful picture to delight in. I thought I would first start out with, I do not believe that femininity and modesty are up for question. I think God is very clear through his word when he encourages women to be modest in apparel, as well as modest and humble in our hearts. We must have a biblical understanding of thanksgiving for what we've been given, as well as understanding that when we approach our wardrobe, we should have a heart of humility and a desire to make much of God in the way that we go about clothing ourselves, in the very same way that we want to make much of God in the way that we speak and the way we behave. We also get to do that in the way that we carry about ourselves, one thing being our wardrobe. And so when we are dressing ourselves, one thing to think about is, does this make much of God or much of man and myself? So is this in any way a hindrance to myself or my God? And so we have very much a Christian culture that loves to blame males for their behavior, but never calls to question the behavior of a woman. And so we have a responsibility that when we get ourselves dressed, that we are to be thoughtful as well as careful. A humble heart has no desire to show off the beautiful gifts that God has, the beautiful parts that God has given to her. He has given us parts that are to be private, and as such, we must be mindful in the way that we cover these up when we are out and about. One, that's not only respectful to our husbands if we're married, it is first and foremost respectful to God. Second, respectful to our husbands and children. And thirdly, it's respectful to brothers and even those who are not our brothers in Christ. Thirdly, I think also we must have a heart that even when we are maybe dressed in what would be modest apparel, are we doing it in such a way that is respectful? So sure, we could go out in a baggy t-shirt and baggy sweatpants and it shows no parts of our body. Or we can be respectful, and I even think disrespectful when we are just going out and we are so lazy and slothful in the way we got dressed for the day. I think this does not reveal the Creator and what he calls his children to. All throughout the Proverbs, he constantly is telling us not to be lazy and not to be slothful, but to be hard at work. This even goes into our attire. Now, I'm not saying you have to look like this glamorous supermodel every time you walk out of your home, but we should always be giving thought to everything that we're doing, and there should always be a push within us to not do it lazily or slothfully. And that might mean you simply put on a pair of jeans and a blouse and brush your hair. That might mean you desire to do a little bit more for the day. You desire to put on a dress and some blush and lipstick and put your hair in a high top knot. Again, we get freedom in this area. We get to look at our lives. What is my daily to-dos, and how can I do this in a way that is get dressed for the day in a way that is respectful and modest, that makes much of my Creator, that is respectful not only to my king, my husband, as well as my brothers and sisters. And so how do we move about in God's world and delight in those facts, and then also bring honor to God in these things? And then I thought, now I will share just kind of my thoughts and how I went about thrifting, so that if you are on a small budget, you can be mindful as you're heading to thrift stores and looking out for some clothing. And so this top I thrifted. I actually like just that it is a little more feminine. It is a little more dressy. So it allows me to, because it is dressier, it allows me to just wear jeans and a sandal. And it also allows me to just put my hair up and still feel put together. Thought about what I like, and then that is what I look for when out thrifting. So again, I like white, I like a puffy sleeve, worn with some jeans and a sandal or a little wedge. Makes it feminine. That's also something I like to think about. How does this outfit make me look feminine? Does this top look feminine? I'm loving this green color this season. So again, another poofy sleeve, not too tight. I don't like tight clothes. Green again, but another loose sleeve that allows me to be cool, that I can pair with jeans. I like to wear jeans, especially days that I must be gardening, or I know I'm gonna be out running around, bellowing kids around, or I'm gonna be outside and it's windy. Wind can pick up my skirt, so I have to be thoughtful of that. Again, another feminine top, cut off sleeve for when it gets into the hundreds, but lightweight, and then again compare with jeans and a sandal, which is really my go-to. I don't have to think about it. I know jeans are gonna be worth it, the top, a sandal. I like this, again, bell sleeve is what I'm looking for right now. This dress, I pair it with a belt, and I can have this for church, date night. Again, can pair it with a nice leather sandal or a wedge. And again, it's pretty and lovely and makes me feel feminine. And then I always like these dresses that have this little pleat at the bottom. I feel like it makes it seem a little more dressy. And then I just pair this with a jean jacket if I'm going to church. Sometimes at home when I'm out in the garden and it's not so windy, I'll just wear this when I'm at home. It has adjustable straps, so I'm actually able to pull it up to where it's not showing anything. And then I thrifted all these from Goodwill. Actually, two I got a garage sale. So the first three tops after this one were all at a garage sale for $1. Some things to think about when you are thrifting is knowing that you're not gonna find everything you want the first day, but you can just start thinking through things you're missing in your closet. So I know I wanted top Swiffer pants. I knew I wanted at least some summery spring dresses. So again, I'm not looking for the fall sort of colors. I'm not looking for heavy blues, heavy fabrics. I am thinking through, it's going to be very warm. I need very light fabrics, light colors for spring and summer, floral for spring and summer, no rust colors, no burnt oranges or browns, because that to me is just, when I think of those colors, I think of fall. Again, you can just, write some of these things down just so you have it at the forefront of your mind and you're thoughtful for when you go out. You don't have to buy everything. You can be okay with just a few simple staple pieces. That actually will lead me into where I'm going with when we have littles. I have 4 kids, 5 and under. So in my morning routine of getting ready, in my morning routine, I have getting ready. So I want to be dressed and ready before my kids get up. Some days, because my husband is a coach, he has some late nights, I'm going to bed around 12 or 1. So I'm not always ready or able to get up at 5:36. I will sleep in a little bit later till 7. So sometimes my kids are up within 20-30 minutes, and then that gives me a really quick brief time, like a brief time to get dressed and ready. So that really just might be top and jeans, hair pulled back, blush, mascara, and I'm dressed. So first off, I would be simplify your wardrobe, or just pull to the front of your closet the things that you know for the week you'll go to. So maybe for every week, in the same way that you meal plan, you are picking out 5 outfits that you know you can go to this week. If you need maybe a more casual errand sort of outfit where you're gonna be running around, taking your kids to ballet, baseball practice, this is still something that makes me feel feminine, but I'm comfortable, I can run around, I don't have to worry about anything. And then I think Elizabeth Elliot is really wonderful in sharing, like, getting ourselves together as mothers really makes us set a tone for the day. Again, God is pretty clear about not desiring a heart of slothfulness or laziness. And so when we are moms who think about getting up and setting the tone for our day, we are going to move about our work in the home differently. We should delight in getting up and taking care of this job that God has given us. We also should be mindful that we had an actual job that we had to show up for and clock in. We would have thought a little bit more of how we were getting dressed and putting ourselves together for the day. So we too should honor our family and how we get ourselves prepared for them and to take care of them and to provide an atmosphere for them that shows they are worthy of my thoughts and my time. So another tip would be just to get a few things that are maybe a little dressier, and so not all at once, or if your budget just allows. So I have a few things that help me feel a little more put together. If I wear this pearled headband, I feel like it already just makes me feel, my hair feel a little better. My pearl earrings are very easy. They're an easy go-to for every outfit. And then to me, they're just very classic, feminine, and they go with everything. I don't have to think about it. I also love a dainty necklace. A dainty necklace with all of my outfits, again, just makes me feel a little more thoughtful and put together, but I didn't have to do anything. Also a nice sandal. So for me, when I'm looking for a little higher price point of a sandal, if it's near Christmas time, my birthday's in April, or Mother's Day is coming up, I just think of, okay, do I need a good sandal? Do I need a good church shoe? Or I'm just not buying anything that I don't need, so that when I ask my husband, can I go ahead and get a nice pair of church shoes? I need a new pair of church shoes. It hasn't been like, well, you've been spending all this money, why didn't you get what you really needed? So just being thoughtful of what are your actual needs, and as you're going thrifting, you try to find clothes to fill that. And then for some of those things that are just harder to thrift, or maybe shoes is even yucky to thrift, then you can then splurge a little bit more. And so getting a nice pair of flats that go with a lot of these outfits just really, again, make the thought process a lot less. I don't have to think about it. Or while I'm putting breakfast is on the stove, I know I need 15 minutes to pull myself together. So the kiddos are able to play magnet tiles. Kids, I am going to get dressed and put on a little bit of makeup. And I know these are the things that I could get done within the 15 minutes. And so that's my go-to, or even 10 minutes. But that means maybe my hair is going to get pulled up, a little bit of shampoo's gonna put on it. I pull out a headband, and I have just some simple buns that are a little dressier, and that's just about it. So just kind of take stock of how can you quickly get your hair done? How quickly can you get some makeup on? And what are your hairstyles you're gonna go to? What are your makeup pieces that you are just gonna always go to, or just make you feel a little bit more put together when you have these things? And then of course, just having a few outfits that you know are just your go-to for the week. So Sunday night, you kind of put a few together and these are your go-to. And then when something happens, hey, well then you just give a couple of more minutes to the thought process, and that happens. Be flexible, moms. Enjoy and delight in setting an example of femininity and modesty and your clothing attire to your daughters. Be prayerful about it. What does that look like? Pray for a heart of humility and modesty, that you would gain understanding. Seek to do some more thought and research into these things that God calls us to, especially in modesty and humility. We know that these are the things that God calls us to. Thinking through, have I been a little slothful or lazy in this area? And if so, how can I kind of level up and actually bring God glory in the way that I get dressed and pull myself together? So I hope this was a delight to you. I hope you're able to get a few ideas. I hope you're able to think through some things before you head to the thrift stores when looking for some clothing. And then also, I just hope that you were encouraged. Bring light to these beautiful things. They're not a hindrance. They're not a yoke that is heavy, but rather a delight. I hope to see you in my next video. If you have not already, I'd love you to subscribe, to stick around, and I hope to see you in a future video.